So, communication is one of the most foundational components of relationships working. It is so hard to work something out in a relationship if you don't know how to communicate through different problems and hash different challenges out between parties. And one of the biggest reasons for this is that when we don't communicate and we feel unresolved, we store those things as resentment. And resentment between two people in a romantic, loving relationship is like poison. It's so difficult to make that relationship get to a place of health when there's so much poison being built up in the background. So, in this video, I wanted to take you through 3 powerful tips to communicate with an anxious preoccupied, especially in the state when an AP is really triggered, so that you can help regulate that experience with your partner and thus produce more healthy outcomes. Tip number 1. Anxious preoccupieds, they need a lot of certainty. So if you are somebody who needs space in a relationship, maybe you're more avoidant, for example, and you want to share your need, when you sort of partner that need with a sense of certainty for that person, your need is more likely to be understood and seen and heard and respected. So for example, let's say you're a DA and you're with an AP and you are deciding, okay, I want to go away with my friends for the weekend. I haven't seen my friends in ages and I've known them forever and I want to spend some time, with them at a cottage or, going off to do something, a little, boys trip or whatever it might be. In that situation, it's going to be really important that you say something that also brings certainty. So, for example, you might say, "Hey, I'm going to go away for the weekend. I'll be gone from, Friday morning. I'll be back Sunday evening. And, I just want you to know I really love and care about you. I'll miss you when I'm away, and I'll make sure I check in by phone each day." And obviously, you have to pick things that you can commit to, but I think that that's a pretty healthy exchange. And what that allows this person to feel is seen, loved, and a sense of certainty that they will continue to communicate with you. And the difference between that for an AP is that when you say, "Hey, I'm going to go away for the weekend, I'll see you later," and it's very vague and ambiguous, and there's not a lot of certainty about what you're feeling towards the relationship, this is often where APs get triggered and they'll start thinking things like, "You don't want to spend time with me. You just want to get away for the weekend. I'm overwhelming you. I'm going to be abandoned then. You're no longer interested." So if you can pair your needs with something that brings certainty, it will go such a long way and it will be helpful for you to get your needs met. And it will also be really helpful for the AP, your AP partner, to feel loved and cared for and to feel like they can rest while they can feel like grounded while they're holding space for your needs. So that's number 1, and it's super important. Number 2 is if you're having a tough conversation. So if there's something you don't like that an AP did, for example, a situation that you wish was handled differently, something along those lines, starting off by sharing that you are here for the relationship and you're having this conversation because you want to improve things so that the relationship can keep growing will go a very long way as well. So let's say, for example, that there was an issue between your AP partner and one of your parents. Maybe they met your parents for the first time. In that situation, you would want to say to your AP partner, "Hey, I want to bring something up with you. And I want you to know the only reason I'm bringing this up is because of how much I care about our relationship. And I want us to be able to work through little challenges so we can keep growing and staying together. And so it is that, on the weekend with my parent, XYZ, and then bring it up in that way. And what that also allows is for the anxious preoccupied person to let their guard down in advance. They can feel like, okay, I'm here to listen. I'm here to hear you out, because the biggest wire that gets tripped for the AP is when they think they're going to be abandoned. And when the AP thinks that and is investing in that belief system, then what ends up taking place is they're so dysregulated and so triggered and so afraid that it actually makes it really difficult to hear and stay present with somebody in communication. So I have some exciting news, which is that we are doing $1,000 off of our lifetime membership sale to the Personal Development School, which means you get access to literally everything at PDS for your entire rest of your life. Essentially, that entails all of our different courses you have lifetime access to. I do 4 live webinars a week, every single week. You can access them ongoing, and you get access to all of our daily community events. So I'd love to see you on the other side, and you can access it by using the link in the description box below. And tip number 3, I find that anxious preoccupieds are like very giving and very generous, and they always want to like make people feel good and make people feel better. But sometimes they don't realize that the way that they would feel better isn't the way that somebody else would feel better. And so what I'll often see is like an anxious preoccupied, maybe their partner says, "Hey, I need space." Maybe it's a DA partner that says, "I need space." And the AP is like, "Oh, if I would say that, it would mean that I really, need some like reassurance and I'm just withdrawing because I don't know what else to do. And I'm sort of seeing if the person will come towards me and it's sort of a way of testing them." Or they would sort of project something from their perception and be like, "Hey, if I was in pain, I wouldn't need space." So they might go and accidentally violate a partner's boundaries, not because they're trying to be doing that and intending to violate somebody's boundaries, but because they just don't realize at the time that, hey, my needs aren't necessarily everybody else's needs. And so in that case, it's very valuable to let an AP know, "Hey, I really appreciate you. I see where you're coming from and you're trying to be helpful and supportive. However, my needs are slightly different from yours as an individual, and they are XYZ. They are, in this case, let's say for the example, I need space and I actually just need that space to decompress. It's how I recharge. And it doesn't mean I don't care for you in the relationship, but I'm really needing that because we have differences in the way that we need things." And by helping an AP see that, it allows, again, an AP to see and understand your needs, but also not take it personally. And these things together tend to really, really grow the relationship. So I hope this makes a lot of sense. Thank you so much for watching and listening. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in future videos.